Peace Sniper. Bet you weren't expecting that after a 7-month hiatus, huh? Well, I am a soldierman, so you probably expected me to make a video about that. No, me want bow, bushwhacker, and peace. But seriously, I wanted to try something new since sniper was under my lesser played classes and soldier was right up there. Also, I wanted to make this video for a long time, but never got to it. But now the time has come. This is the strategy of Piss Sniper. So, what is Piss Sniper? Well, it is just a funny name for the combat sniper. The only thing piss related in this loadout is the jar full of urine in the sniper's back pocket. I could have used the Sydney Sleeper, but that weapon is just a support sniper rifle, unfit for combat. I know that the Sydney Sleeper is usually used for Piss Sniper, but this is my personal version of Piss Sniper and you can't do anything about it. The weapon I used, on the other hand, is not. The Huntsman, a side grade for the sniper rifle, is a bow and arrow that is fundamentally different to all the other sniper primaries. It doesn't scope you in while charging, which takes a third of the time of stock, and you shoot a projectile instead of a hit scan bullet. Now some downsides are already listed, like firing a projectile allowing the enemy to escape before the arrow hits them, but it is mostly accidental since a fully charged arrow travels twice as fast as a rocket. But the arrow can also fall if the destination is too far away. Also, if a charge is held for 5 seconds, the aim becomes less accurate, which I just found out now when reading the wiki page for it. Could have been more useful to know before. Along with that, it has a sick reskin which I will be using for the rest of the video. But that alone is not enough for me. That is the reason why I equipped 2 other items that fit together extremely well. The Jarate and the Bushwhacker. Firstly, just to get it out of the way, the Bushwhacker is practically useless without the Jarate. Its only real feature is crits when it would usually mini-crit, which does not happen very often, and you take 20% more damage. Seems horrid, disgusting, repulsive, revolting, repellent, sickening, nauseating. Oh! Well, it is without your assist weapon, the Jarate. When you throw this jar of urine, it produces a giant cloud of piss which enemies can get covered in, making them receive guaranteed critical hits. See where I'm going with this? Throwing your jar of piss at the enemies and then beating their wet yellow bodies with a giant knife for your own satisfaction. Well, this is where the synonyms from before would come in handy. But now I hope you see why this combo is so effective. For instance, here's a clip of me playing on Snowtower, the best map in Team Fortress 2, when this soldier came up. Shots were fired everywhere, but he was my only focus. I threw my Jarate and at the same moment my scout finishes him off. Right afterwards I get shot by a mark and a sniper when a medic crawls up to cap. I get a shot to his leg before he switched to full melee and tried to kill me with the Ubersaw. Although if he knew I was at 6 HP, his best bet would have been to shoot me with his crossbow. But he didn't know that, so he went up to charge his Uber, but failed miserably. Then I got the finishing headshot, killing him at once. And then, just 10 seconds later, the scout and heavy attacked the point. Of course, I follow my first instinct and throw Jarate, covering the scout in piss and killing him with a crit. Now the heavy dodged the splash and went on to kill my pal. Luckily, he was quite low, so I killed him with a shot to the elbow. That's 3 kills with 1 assist in less than 20 seconds. Do you see how good this combo is? I even top scored that round, it's perfect. But there were still some things that didn't go as planned. For instance, an overhealed pyro survived a bushwhacker crit, which didn't only happen once, but twice, just with a soldier. Except for that, it's great. Well, at least in this game mode. This loadout is not quite useful in maps that aren't King of the Hill. I played the game on Badwater and on Upward, but it really didn't quite work for me. But one map stood out. Venice. I got it queued before Snowtower and I also got my first kill on an F2P engineer right there. Fly high, Kozakok. You were quite an important person in my playthrough. That was also the round I got a jar crit on this overhealed soldier, but died to a mini-sentry since I have higher damage vulnerability. In that same match I also found this sniper who seemed equally as clueless as me. We shot arrows at each other, I hit one body shot but an engineer came to the sniper's rescue and shot me into the clear blue Italian water. Here is a highlight reel of my best kills. And honestly, I prefer this to the regular playstyle of Sniper. I had about 12 hours on him before I started, so I can safely say that Piss Sniper is much more fun than regular Sniper. Clicking on heads might be fun for some people, but this playstyle, directly in combat, no strings attached, is just way cooler, especially for a soldier main like me. This was a deep dive into the Piss Sniper. Well, what are you waiting for? Get your huntsman, piss and knife, and go kill some annoying spies. The world is waiting for you. Goodbye.